How long will it really take to grow on YouTube? If you've ever wondered why some channels explode overnight while others seem to crawl at a snail's pace, you're not alone. But the reality is that most creators face slow growth at the beginning, regardless of how amazing their content is. In today's video, which is the fourth installment of my series about the 12 things that I really wish I knew before I started on YouTube, we're diving into the honest reality of YouTube growth and why patience is your greatest ally. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of exactly what my growth has looked like on both of my channels, what to expect on your journey, and strategies to navigate those challenging early stages. First, let's talk about Mr. Beast, because it's easy for us to focus on the 316 million subscribers that he has today, and it's easy to miss the fact that he spent years trying to get to this point. In fact, it took him 2 years just to hit his first 1,000 subscribers, 3 years to reach 10,000, and it was almost 4 years until he finally surpassed 100,000 subscribers. In that time, he uploaded over 450 different videos. His journey is a powerful reminder that even the biggest YouTubers started out with slow growth, and it was his unwavering consistency that set him apart and ultimately led to his breakthrough. All right, so let's start off by talking about realistic expectations for growth. And realistic is actually the key here, because a lot of us come into YouTube kind of expecting and hoping that we're going to blow up overnight. But the reality is that doesn't really happen for most people. Most of the time, initial growth can be really, really slow, with the first 100 subscribers taking a while to get to. And then the point of getting to monetization and getting to 1,000 subscribers can take even longer. I mean, months, maybe even years to get there for some people. And I'm not saying this to be a downer. I'm saying it to kind of be realistic about what that expectation should be. Don't come in thinking that you're overnight going to be, all the way up there. And the other thing that is important here is not to compare yourself to other people, because your niche, your efforts, all of those things are going to have an impact and are going to differentiate you from other channels. So you can't necessarily look at what this channel is doing and, oh, look, they've been here just as long as I have and they have twice as many subscribers or whatever. You can't think of it that way. You have to look at your own individual journey. Most of the time, people start out relatively slow and then they start to grow, and that growth becomes exponential and things start to pick up really, really quickly once you reach certain milestones. The big thing here to keep in mind is that engagement matters. Your likes, your comments, your shares, all of those different things that your viewers are doing, and building that community is important. And the other thing to keep in mind is that YouTube is a long game. This is not about trying to make a quick buck overnight. This is about what's going to happen a year from now, or 3 years, or 5 years from now. All right, so let's talk about the factors that affect the speed of your growth. So first and foremost, let's just make it perfectly clear that quality is king here. And when it comes to the quality of your videos, you want to have clear videos, good audio. That quality really is going to be important to bringing in viewers. Consistency is another one. We talked about this in my very first thing that I wish I knew before I started on YouTube. Consistency is highly important to your viewer. It's highly important to you as a content creator to get in that habit of making videos. Shoot for once a week, maybe twice a week if you can do it. But whatever it is that you do, stick with that schedule, because your viewers will start to realize that this is when you're uploading videos, and they'll hopefully be looking forward to them. The next one is the selection of your niche. I mean, some niches are going to grow faster than others. And so don't pick a niche just because it might be fast growing, because there might be a lot of competition in that particular niche. Pick something that you're going to feel passionate talking about, not just for the next week, not just for the next month, but you're going to feel comfortable talking about this topic for potentially years to come. Now, one of the things that's obviously going to come into play is your SEO, your search engine optimization. We have to be clean on that. We have to have good titles. We have to have, strong descriptions that have those SEO basics present and different keywords and things like that. Tags, while they're not the most important thing in the world, they are still there for a reason. So we're going to use those. I've actually got a video about this. This was my third topic. So if you want to go back and watch that video, feel free. But that can be like a good starting point into really looking at your SEO. Now, I mentioned it in the last topic, but engagement really is important, and it's how you build that community. So when you're first getting started, and as long as you possibly can, you should be responding to every single comment that comes in. When somebody leaves me a comment, I don't care if it's good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to respond to it. Even if it's bad, I may not have the best response, but I'm not going to be snarky either. I'm going to respond, because I want to have that level of engagement with the people who are watching my videos. People are taking time out of their day to actually watch a video that I make. Well, I'm going to respond to their comment. And if you want to test that theory, then feel free to leave me a comment below. I promise you, I will respond to it one way or another. And hey, while you're there, if you're getting any value at all so far from this video, do me a favor, hit the like button, as it goes a long way towards the algorithm. And if you want to see more videos like this, hit that subscribe button, because I'd love to have you back for more videos. All right, so next, let's talk about some of the common pitfalls to avoid in your growth. So first, let's talk about chasing viral trends. Now, there's a place for this and there's a time for this, obviously, throughout your growth. But if you're focusing just on that and you're just spending time looking at viral trends and trying to chase those things down, it's going to make for a very inconsistent audience for you, and it can lead to a lot of burnout. So that may not be the best strategy to go for. We've talked already about audience engagement and neglecting that and how that can have a negative impact. So definitely don't do that. I know I mentioned it before, but don't expect overnight success. It's one of the things that most of us can fall into, and we all have dreams of, one day being the next Mr. Beast or whoever. But we have to be realistic with what we want to do and what our expectation is for what our growth is going to be, or else we're going to get frustrated when we don't hit those metrics. The reality is the YouTube algorithm favors consistency over like quick initial wins. Another pitfall that's really, really easy to fall into is ignoring our analytics. If you don't spend the time digging into what's working and what's not working, then you can never really grow, and you're never going to get better if you're not looking at the things that you messed up on. When I'm looking at my analytics and I see, oh, my intro, I'm losing a lot of people on an introduction, for example. Well, maybe next time I'm going to try something different on my introduction. Or if I see that people are dropping off or whatever in different points, and maybe I'm being boring in that point, or I'm belaboring a point, then maybe it'll help me to get quicker in, making that video the next time. And then finally, I don't want to leave the pitfall section without mentioning that inconsistency in your uploads really can hurt your audience engagement. All right, so next up, and this one may be one of the most important things we talk about during this video, and it's staying motivated through your slow growth. Because it can be, again, really, really easy to get kind of down on yourself or to get upset about the slow growth and stop being motivated to even make videos. But there's some tips and some strategies that you can do to stop that. And so the first one is really to celebrate the wins. Any wins. If you have a video that does better than your other videos, even if it's just a little bit better, celebrate that. Celebrate whatever milestone you get to. And I don't know what that looks like for you. I celebrated when I got to 50 subscribers. I was happy. I'm sitting at 60 right now. When I get to 100, I'm going to celebrate that. And I'm not going to like bake myself a cake or whatever, but I'm going to celebrate that internally and be happy with what I've gotten and the people that have made that decision and decided to join you on this journey. A lot of times as a content creator, we get so used to like saying things in videos and asking people to subscribe and whatever, and we really don't think about the fact that somebody actually has to make that decision that, okay, I'm fine with seeing more of this person. That's kind of a big deal. And so when they do that, and you do grow, and then that growth in subscribers leads to more views, that's a thing that you should be celebrating, no matter how long it took for you to get there. All right, next is focus on learning. Focus on getting better in whatever thing that you're trying to do. Is it like this week, I'm trying something brand new. I learned how to do something in Apple Motion and create a graph for myself because I couldn't find a good B-roll graph that did what I wanted it to do at the beginning of this video. So I watched videos, I watched things on YouTube, I figured it out how to make this thing on my own. It's not the most extensive graph that anyone's ever seen in their lives, but for me, it was something new, and it was a new skill that I got to work on this week and get better at, so that it's going to help me in the future. Another thing that might help you, depending on your personality, is joining creator communities and getting involved with other small creators and having those conversations. It's always nice to have somebody that you can bounce things off of, or, somebody who's just going through the same thing that you're going through. It's good to have that level of support. Next, we have to set manageable goals. And manageable, again, is highly important here. Like, I can have a goal that I'm going to put up a video every single day of the week for 365 days of the year. That's not manageable for me. There's no way I could actually do that. So it's not a good goal. But if I have a manageable goal, if I say, look, I'm going to do 2 videos a week for the foreseeable future, especially right now. I mean, I'm still unemployed at this point, so making 2 videos a week is not out of the question for me. It's completely doable, and I can still do it and make them of the same kind of quality that I expect for them to be. And my last tip to stay motivated during the slow times, and this one's probably the most important, or at least it is for me, is remember your why. Remember the reason why you got into this in the first place. For me, it was really simple. I lost my job. I was unemployed. I knew I needed something to kind of fill my days or whatever. And so this seemed like a good thing to do. I had done it in the past, and I enjoy this. I enjoy talking to a camera and having these conversations. Plus, I want to leave a legacy behind. I want to be able to help other people, and I want to be able to leave something behind that my family and my loved ones, my wife, my daughter can watch in the future when I'm not here. And that's the beauty of YouTube, is whatever you put up, whatever you're talking about, it will be there forever. Now, speaking of my journey, let's talk a little bit about my numbers, because I do want to be transparent about where I'm at on this channel, and I want to share some things that I've kind of learned along the way. So looking at my numbers right now, I started this channel in July of this year, the first part of July of this year. So I've been here for like 2.5 months or so on this channel. And in that time, I've got 7,690 views total and 59 subscribers. That actually went up to 60 today. So yay for 60. It's a milestone. I don't know. It's a small one, but it's a good one. Any even number, I get happy. The biggest struggle for me in all of this is when I upload a video, I always have these I don't know if you want to call them delusions of grandeur, but I have this thought in my head that maybe this is going to be the big one. And the reality is most of my videos start out really, really slow. In fact, most of my long form videos, it takes a while to get traction on them. When we're talking about your journey compared to my journey, I don't know what that looks like. I don't know if it's the same for you or if it's going to be different, but all I can do is share with you what mine looks like. And for me, those long form videos, when I put them up, it takes a while to build traction. Some of them never build traction and they just stay at very low numbers. And other ones, they start out really, really slow, and then eventually they start to build, especially the ones with search-based titles. They'll start to build, and I'll start to get more views and start getting consistent views. And those numbers will very slowly tick up over time. And so it's important for me not to have that initial panic or that initial thought of, oh, this is a failure when I upload a video and it doesn't immediately go crazy, because that's just not the reality of my situation. That's not what my videos are probably going to do. I have to be patient, and I have to wait it out and see what happens and how many videos or how many views I actually get over time. And it's funny because the exact same thing happened in my first channel. So for those of you who don't know, I had a channel back in 2015. It was a very, very specific niche channel, and it took me about 5 months, almost 5 months, to get up to the 1,000 subscriber, 4,000 watch time hours, all that kind of fun stuff that you would need for monetization. Monetization rules were different back then, but if I'm trying to make it apples to apples, it would have taken me 5 months to get monetized. I actually got monetized way earlier than that because it was way easier to get monetized back in 2015. But the biggest reason why that one kind of gained so much traction so quickly, and it only took me 5 months to get to that 1,000 viewer point or that 1,000 subscriber point, was because I had one single video that went nuts. And that video, it was my 8th video that I ever created ever on YouTube. For whatever reason, it caught on. It did really, really well. And over time, like to this day, it's got like almost 350,000 views to it. But even that video, here's what's funny, because I went back this week out of curiosity to look at what the history of that video actually looked like. And here's what I found. So the first week of that video, it only had 119 views. And like right now, I would be happy with 119 views on my current channel. But back then, you know, who knows? I don't remember if I was a happy person at 119 views at that time or not. But I can tell you 119 views is not very good. And it's not anything that would lead you to believe that this is going to be some kind of a viral video or whatever, or at least viral for that channel. And then spreading it out even further. So the first month of that video, it had about 7,000 views. Very respectable. Again, I would take it at a heartbeat today, but not anything that would make you think that it's going to be 350,000 overall. By the end of the first year, it was up to 195,000 views total. So, and that's the other thing that I want to kind of point out here is 195,000 views in the first year, which means that in the subsequent 8 years that have happened since, uh, yeah, that gained another 150,000 views over that time. And I didn't do anything else to it. I never changed anything. I never changed the thumbnail, never changed the title, never did anything like that. It just grew and it continued to grow, and it, whatever, it'll grow for who knows how long, but it will continue to bring in views. And that's the other thing to kind of keep in mind as I'm uploading videos today is, yeah, I may upload a video and it may not do great, and it may be really slow, and it may in a month's time have 100 and whatever views or whatever it is. But over time, what might happen with that video? And if people start to find things, and that's the other thing is, once that video blew up, then it started to make other videos start to go, more, and start to get more views than what they initially had, because people find you, they subscribe to your channel, they're more inclined to start looking at your back catalog and seeing what else have you made. And so your views on other videos go up. That's why there's this multiplication effect that we talk about in YouTube. And one of the things that most of us look very forward to is when we get to that point where those subscribers start to push content that we haven't thought about in weeks or months or years in some cases. And they're watching those videos and bringing in views. I mean, the bottom line is, no matter how you slice it, growth is probably going to be slow for you, because it certainly is for me. And that it's one of those things that I really wish I would have known and had a more realistic expectation of coming in and creating this YouTube channel. And while we spent a lot of time today talking about views and growth and all of that fun stuff, there is one thing that's more important than views. And I'm going to talk about that in this video right here, just as soon as it's ready. And if you do want to subscribe and you want to be here for other videos, then click on this button and subscribe to the channel. I will see you on the next one.